What would you react if I told you that you belong to an incomplete timeline? It sounds like abuse, right? Well, it's the truth that's making experts very uncomfortable. For years, we've relied on a specific calendar of human progress, but fresh dirt and deep-sea scans are bringing up objects that simply don't fit. These aren't just small errors. They are massive pieces of a puzzle we didn't even know existed. So prepare yourself to see 15 recent finds that are literally forcing a total rewrite of our collective story right now. Number 15. Touching feet statues. Just imagine walking through the oldest cemetery in Pompeii and seeing a man and woman who are literally inseparable, even in stone. These life-size funerary statues found at the Porta Sarno necropolis. They were carved from separate blocks, but joined so perfectly that the man's right foot and the woman's left foot are touching. It creates this eerie, continuous image of a couple frozen in time. The woman is decked out in priestess jewelry, while the man is wearing a classic Roman citizen's toga, dating them right to 79 AD, just before Vesuvius blew its top. With over 50 cremation burials found at the site in 2024, this pair stands out because they broke the stiff ritual poses of the era for something much more intimate and human. It's a rare, tender moment captured in a place that's usually defined by ash and tragedy. Number 14. Black Stone of the Kaaba. There is a 4,000-year-old mystery sitting in the eastern corner of the Kaaba in Mecca that is so sacred, science isn't even allowed to touch it. This is the Black Stone. What an Islamic tradition says it started as a pure white gift to Adam, only turning black because it soaked up the sins of every human who touched it. Scientifically speaking, it's probably a meteorite or some kind of unique volcanic glass, but we'll likely never know for sure because taking a sample for a lab is strictly off the table. Millions of pilgrims have kissed and touched it over the centuries, following the footsteps of the Prophet Muhammad, which has polished the surface into a deep, mystical, obsidian-like sheen. It's one of those rare orphan objects that exists in a space where faith and geology collide, and it remains one of the most untouched, unstudied, and deeply revered pieces of stone on the entire planet. Number 13. A German military playground. You'd think a bunch of kids playing on a swing set would be the loudest thing in a German neighborhood, but it turns out there was a literal Roman army base screaming underneath them for 2,000 years. While construction crews were digging up a playground recently, they started hitting ancient ovens, marching boots, and pieces of Roman board games. This wasn't just a temporary camp, it was a full-blown military hub that was active right up until 16 AD. It's a weirdly human find because you see the boredom of the soldiers in the gaming pieces they left behind, mixed with the logic of their military walls and industrial ovens. Now they're literally building the modern playground and excavating the ancient barracks at the same time. It's a bizarre overlap, where modern German kids are playing on the same dirt, where Roman legionnaires were probably complaining about their boots and playing dice games 20 centuries ago. Number 12. Denisovan bracelet. Found deep within the Denisova cave in Siberia, this stunning chlorite bracelet has completely shattered our understanding of human evolution and the technological timeline. At first glance, the beautiful green stone looks like a modern luxury item, but carbon dating reveals it is over 50,000 years old. What makes this an expert's nightmare is the precision of the craftsmanship. It features a hole drilled with such high-speed accuracy that researchers admit it could only have been achieved using a tool similar to a modern stable drill. At that point in history, humans were supposed to be using primitive stone scrapers. But yet here is evidence of advanced mechanical engineering. This discovery forces us to admit that the Denisovans, an extinct cousin of humanity, might have been more technologically sophisticated than our own ancestors. It is a haunting physical proof that a high-tech peak existed in our timeline long before we were supposed to be capable of such mastery. Number 11. Head of Dionysus. This one is actually kind of hilarious in a disrespectful to history way. They were digging under the Forum of Trajan in Rome, specifically along the Via Alessandrina, and they found this stunning marble head of a man with thick, wavy hair. He looks like he's deep in thought, maybe concentrating on some big task. Now, usually you'd expect a statue like this to be on a pedestal, right? Nope. They found it shoved into a medieval wall. As someone in the Middle Ages needed building material, saw this priceless masterpiece of Dionysus, the god of wine, or maybe Emperor Trajan himself, and decided it made a great brick. They literally used lime mortar to stick his face into the architecture of a new build. It was found sitting among 40-foot columns and aisles, just waiting for someone to realize it was more than just a piece of rock. Number 10. Message in a bottle. This is honestly the most meta thing I've ever heard of in archaeology. So, back in the 1800s, this guy, Anders Lorange, is excavating the Myklebust ship in Norway, which, by the way, is the biggest Viking ship ever found, over 100 feet long. It belonged to King Audbjorn, who got a traditional burn-it-all ship burial in 870. Lorange finishes the dig, then looks at the massive 13-foot-high mound of rivets and ash he's uncovered, and decides to talk to us. He writes a note, sticks his business card and some coins in a glass bottle, and buries it for a future adventurer to find. It's like a high five across time. We spend all our time reaching into the past to understand the Vikings, but Lorange was reaching into the future to make sure we knew exactly who did the work. Finding that bottle among the ancient shield pieces and rivets is a surreal reminder that archaeology isn't just about bones. It's about the people who can't stop digging. Number 9. Alkmaar birch clog. So, while everyone else is digging up golden crowns, someone in the Netherlands found a piece of wood in a literal 17th century trash pit. And it's a total game changer. It's a wooden clog, which sounds standard for the Dutch. But this one is made of birch. Here's the catch. Birch doesn't even grow there. This woman's size 5.5 shoe had to be imported, or the wood was traded from miles away just to make a daily driver work shoe. They found it while prepping for a garbage container, just sitting in a cesspit that actually preserved the wood perfectly. It's got this chunky, sturdy heel that shows she wasn't wearing it for fashion. She was putting in work. Out of only 45 ever found, this is the only birch one in existence, proving their trade networks for basic footwear were way more complex than we thought. Number 8. Baths of Nezahualcóyotl. If you headed into the Sierra Nevada mountains during the mid-1400s, you would have stumbled upon a feat of engineering that would make modern architects sweat. King Nezahualcóyotl, a guy who was part warrior and part poet, built a massive complex of exotic gardens and outdoor swimming pools on the slopes of Tetzcoatzingo. We're talking about an advanced hydraulic system that piped water from miles away just so the Aztec elite could lounge in luxury. It was so impressive that even after the king died, the locals treated the place as sacred. Naturally, the Spanish showed up in the 16th century and smashed a lot of the reliefs because they were terrified that people were worshiping the idols inside. Even today, when the rainy season hits and the greenery starts crawling back over the ruins, you can still see the skeleton of the most sophisticated waterworks in pre-Hispanic Mexico. It's a ghost of a palace that feels more like a futuristic resort than an ancient ruin. Number 7. Ansayatomer toy chariot. It's easy to think of the ancient world as this serious, adult-only place of temples and wars, but then you find something like the earthenware chariot from Sayatomer, Turkey. This thing is a tiny, ornate little wagon, and in 2017, it officially blew the record for the oldest toy car out of the water. We're looking at a 5,000-year-old piece of play, literally 1,000 years older than the previous record holder, a baby rattle found in 2014. It's a gut punch of a realization that kids were rolling toy wheels across flat surfaces way before the Bronze Age even hit its stride. It was probably a high-end gift, maybe for the kid of a king or a wealthy politician, considering how detailed it is. It's a beautiful reminder that while empires rise and fall, and the sound of a kid playing with a toy is one of the few things that has stayed the same for 5 millennia. Number 6. Boxwood miniature carvings. Around 500 years ago, a single anonymous artist in Belgium was pulling off feats of microengineering that we literally cannot replicate today, even with all our fancy lasers and tech. These boxwood miniatures are tiny wooden spheres that open up to reveal entire scenes of heaven and hell, carved with such insane detail that you need a microscope just to see the tiny faces of the damned. King Henry VIII was so obsessed with his that he carried it everywhere like a 16th century status symbol. When the Metropolitan Museum of Art put 30 of them under a scanner in 2016, and they found the wood had been sliced into discs thinner than a fingernail and reassembled with seams that are totally invisible to the naked eye. The weirdest part? The style is so specific that it looks like one person made every single one of them. When that mystery artist died, the design logic died with them, leaving behind these microscopic worlds that shouldn't exist. Number 5. Medusa military medal. In early October 2022, the ancient Turkish city of Pere turned up a piece of bronze that would make any modern soldier do a double-take. It's a military medal, roughly 1,800 years old, but instead of a star or a cross, it features the terrifying, snaky face of Medusa. Now, you'd think giving a soldier a medal of a monster that turns people to stone is a bit of a backhanded compliment, right? But back then, Medusa actually translated to guardian. This wasn't just a trophy. It was a high-stakes protective amulet. Historians are still trying to pin down the specific battle, but they're fairly certain this was awarded to a Roman-era soldier who successfully defended a high-value target from an enemy raid. It's a rough, beautiful piece of warrior jewelry that proves even the toughest legionnaires were a little superstitious when it came to staying alive on the front lines. The craftsmanship is simple but shiny, a gritty relic of ancient courage. Number 4. The Newberry Tablet. Imagine clearing heavy brush on a Michigan farm back in 1896 and hitting a solid clay tablet that physically should not exist within the soil of the American Midwest. This heavy slab is covered in 140 strange characters etched into a tight, haunting grid that looks more like a cryptographic puzzle than a standard historical record. When local scholars first laid eyes on the stone, they reportedly went pale because the symbols looked suspiciously like Minoan, a sophisticated lost language from the island of Crete that vanished over 3,000 years ago. How does a Bronze Age script from the Mediterranean end up buried deep in the dirt of rural Michigan? While the Smithsonian eventually dismissed the find as a hoax to preserve the safety of the standard historical timeline, the physical evidence is literally rotting away. The tablet is now so fragile that the characters are crumbling into fine dust, taking the secret of who actually stepped foot in Michigan millennia ago to the grave. Number 3. Michigan relics. James O. Scotford claimed to have stumbled upon a massive, an earth-shattering hoard of over 3,000 artifacts, ranging from ornate cups and tablets to copper coins, buried in the Michigan soil. These objects told a story that mainstream experts were terrified to hear. The possibility that people from the ancient Near East had established a presence in North America long before Christopher Columbus even possessed a map. The archaeological establishment was quick to label these finds as the Scotford frauds, pointing to microscopic tool marks that they claimed looked far too modern for ancient craftsmanship. But here is the real kicker. Even on his deathbed, Scotford never cracked or confessed to a prank. He took his secrets to the grave, leaving behind a legacy of objects that sit in a dark, academic gray area. Today, these relics are hated by mainstream archaeologists, but deeply revered by those who believe our map of ancient global migration is missing its most explosive and significant chapter. Number 2. Beverly Mystery Stone. In a quiet, unassuming Kansas field about 80 years ago, a strange stone emerged from the earth that has been sparking academic fistfights and heated debates ever since. Known formally as the Beverly Stone, this artifact features 16 cryptic symbols that some independent researchers swear are Gaelic Punic, a hybrid language used by ancient European explorers from the Iberian Peninsula. If this stone is genuine, it suggests that ancient Europeans were navigating and hanging out in the American heartland a full 1,000 years before the Vikings or the Spanish arrived. Critics argue that the carvings look too clean to have survived 1,500 years in the harsh Kansas dirt, but the object remains a persistent, annoying thorn in the side of traditional historians. Whether it is a brilliant 19th century prank or the smoking gun that proves our ancestors were far more mobile than experts are willing to admit, it challenges the very foundation of American discovery. Number 1. Astronaut of Salamanca. At first glance, this carving is the ultimate "I told you so" for those who believe in ancient astronaut theories or time-traveling visitors. High up on the 16th century facade of the new cathedral in Salamanca, Spain, sits a figure that is unmistakably a modern astronaut, complete with thick boots, a pressurized helmet, and a chest-mounted breathing apparatus. While the official academic explanation is that a restoration artist named Geronimo Garcia added the figure in 1992 as a contemporary thumbprint, the image has become a powerful symbol for something much deeper. It represents a visual glitch in our historical reality that forces us to ask a chilling question. How much of what we see in ancient architecture has been subtly altered, edited, or added to fit the specific story we want to tell ourselves today? It serves as a haunting reminder that even permanent stone history is constantly being rewritten by the people currently holding the chisel. The settled history taught in textbooks is crumbling under the weight of these physical anomalies. We aren't just finding old rocks. We are recovering a lost heritage that was never meant to be found. The map is being redrawn in real time. Stay curious, because the truth doesn't care about your comfort zone. Now show your love by pressing the subscribe button and punching that like button to stay ahead of the curve.